toparena! Hey, Kirsten in the house with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today, guys, we're gonna talk about her. Yes, the Christmas fusion, Lady Noelle. Did you saw the teaser that they launched? Let's see it together. Here she comes. Oh, there's a ship. Okay, it's her Nick with her staff. Christmas gift. And there is she. Okay, that's the teaser of the raid. That's her avatar and her in-game texture, and that's how she looks in-game. For me, it was a very simple concept. They didn't put that much effort into building a cool character. She seems very simple. Even her kit, that is the most important part about her, look as simple as her design. And we're gonna take a look at it to see if she's a good champion worth or not. Let's take a look at it. This is Lady Noelle's kit. Let's talk about her. Her avatar, again, right here. She's a legendary void affinity that's going to be Christmas fusion. She's a super type from the Sacred Order faction, as her Nick, her husband, I will say. Let's take a look at her general kit to see if she's worth or not to go as a fusion. First skill, A1, Ice Crack Staff. Attack one enemy, has 80% of chance of placing block buffs, debuff for 2 turns, when booked 100%. Interesting. Also decreases the target turn meter by 20% if they are under freeze. St. Nicholas puts freezes on his A1. These effects cannot be resisted if Sir Nicholas is on the same team. Okay, so the turn meet and the block buffs cannot be resisted if Sir Nick is on the same team. Interesting, but not crazy strong. It's interesting to put block buffs on the A1. It's a useful A1, and to decrease some turn meter is also useful sometimes. So let's say it's a 4 out of 10 A1. Let's go for the A2. Invigorating Chill. Target an ally. This has 5 turns cooldown. It can be booked to 3. Interesting. If the target is a ally is under ship debuff, removes it. Okay, so another champion that can remove ship debuff like Shuzan. If the target ally is not under a ship debuff, remove all debuffs from them instead. Interesting. It's a cleanse, but a single target cleanse. If the target ally is not under a ship debuff, heals them by 50% of this champion max HP. Also heals all allies equal to 50% of any surplus heal. So it's a very powerful single target healing, and AoE not as powerful as the single target, but at the same time AoE healing. So it's a cleanse if you're not sheep, and it's a AoE heal. And on the single target, it's if he's a sheep, it transforms back into normal form, but does not heal. If the target ally is Sir Nicholas, instantly activate his Godwill skill. The Godwill, I think, is the A3. The A3 puts unkillable and continues heal. So if you heal and put unkillable at the same time, and this will not put the Godwill skill on cooldown probably on Sir Nicholas. We need to test, but probably it won't put it on cooldown. Then, oh, there's more. Then places a 30% increase speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. It's a lot of effects. The most interesting part is to remove the ship, but it's a single target remove ship also. And it's only a cleanse when there is no ship. So if it's a ship, she just bring back the champion and put the increased speed, probably. And if Sir Nicholas activates the A3. I would say it's decent, it's a rare skill. It's a rare skill, only a few champions got it. So I would say it's a 6 out of 10 skill. Just because of the rarity of turning back into ship debuff into a normal champion, is a rare skill. That's why I gave her a 6 out of 10. Because if it was not that rare, it would be a 3 or a 2 out of 10. A3. Hearthkeeper. Okay, 5 turn cooldown can be bucketed. 3 turns cooldown. Interesting. 3 turn cooldowns are very good skills usually. The debuff, it's 75%, can be bucketed to 100. Let's see what it does. Revive all dead allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. So a 3 turn cooldown revive skill, it's good. It's a red good. AoE revive skill with 3 turn cooldown is a very good skill. So just by this skill, she becomes a viable reviver. And there's more. Then has a 75% booked to 100 of placing freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Will place freeze debuff even if there are no dead allies. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if Sir Nicholas is on the same team. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting because I think she's one of the few champions that can revive. At the same time, debuff the enemy teams. So it gives you a higher chance of doing something after you are revived. So we need to see the sequence of what she does when we use this skill. If it follows what is here on the skill, she revives first, then she freezes. It's what's written here. If it go this way, it's good, because she first revives, so she guaranteed that she's going to revive. Then she tried to put the debuff, what can polymorph her or activate any other things on the enemy team. So that's a really interesting skill. 3 turns cooldown. Reviver with 3 turns cooldown and freeze that if Sir Nicholas is on the same team cannot be blocked or resisted. So basically she needs accuracy on the team. If Sir Nicholas is on the team, she doesn't need accuracy at all. Interesting. This skill is an 8 out of 10. I think because of this skill only, she's a rather worth champion for you to do the fusion. And even more, she's a void legendary. She's a void legendary. It's always good to do the void legendary fusions, because if you don't get her now, she might be hard to get from shards. So if you have the opportunity, just because of this Hearthkeeper skill, she's a red worth it. And being also a void legendary, I think she's worth it. There's more on her kit. Let's see what is there. The passive, Cryomantic Queen. Decrease the speed of enemies under freeze debuff by 10%. Okay, interesting, but not crazy. Just 10%. When a ship debuff expires on an ally, fills their turn meter by 50%. Okay, that's interesting, because when you come back from ship, you're basically destroyed, because you have 0 turn meter and you have half of HP. With her in the team, passively, when you come back, you have 50% of your turn meter back, at least. Which is good, this is passively. So, it's interesting. If there are multiple champions on the team, with this skill, this effect will only activate once. Okay, so you can't bring a ship back with 100 turn meter if you have 2 Lady Noelles on the team. Interesting. I thought there was going to be some interaction about her and St. Nicholas on the passive. That would be cool. That would be cool, but there is no. The interaction are only on the skills, and basically he prevents her of needing accuracy, and her skills become unresistible and not blockable in the case of the A3. Her A3 is a very strong skill, what makes her a worth champion, and she also gets increase ally speed, arena battles aura by 30%. So she has a speed boost aura on arena. What's interesting? I think she's a good support. As a support, I don't like tankers with void affinity because they are easier to kill, but at the same time, they are void affinity debuffers are good to put debuffs because they cannot weak hit. But on her kit, the only thing that hits to put a debuff is the A1, because the A3 is a red place, so it doesn't matter her affinity when she's placing. Only if she needs to land a hit that could be weak hit, it would be important for being void to not weak hit this freeze. But it's a placing skill, so it doesn't matter her to be void. If she was another affinity, it would place it anyway. It doesn't need a hit, so it could not be weak hit. So her affinity about debuffing, it's only good for the A1, which is not crazy good. So in general, for tanky support, her affinity is not that good. I prefer colorful champions to have the chance of weak hitting or being weak hitted by the enemy. So I think out of a fusion, she is probably in general a 6 out of 10 in my classification. So she's worth doing. She's worth doing basically because of her A3. At the same time, it's interesting to test her with Sir Nicholas. They can be viable. Not because they are crazy good together, because their interactions are low. There are low amount of interactions, but because of the utility they can bring to a team. So they can be dangerous together, just keeping the team alive. If they buff somehow Sir Nicholas to give him some interactions with her, it would be crazy good. Imagine his A3 being protected while she's on the same team. They automatically become very relevant in many contents, because unkillable protected, you're gonna need something to overcome the unkillable that cannot be removed. If that was introduced to Sir Nicholas, they together automatically would become meta champions, just with this small tweak on his A3 if they were together, because you're gonna need to take so much attention on the freeze and the unkillable that would make your opponent's team be so stalled if they do not too care. But for that to happen, Sir Nicholas needs a buff. They are red told us in the content creator chat that Sir Nicholas is not going to be changed anything. So at the moment, I would say she's a viable fusion to do. Do not skip it, but at the same time, do not expect crazy things from her. She will be useful, but not crazy useful. At the moment, we don't know what's coming in the future. Maybe her kit can be crazy good for some content, and her A3 is the most relevant skill on her kit, and the passive is really good also, but not crazy good, just good. It's a interesting passive, not a useless passive. So that's my thoughts about a Christmas fusion that's going to come soon in the game. So my tip is do it if you can do it. Do not skip it. At the same time, do not have high expectations of her. She's not going to be a game changer champion if you have another reviver on your account already. And that's it. Lady Noelle is coming to the game. Hopefully they change their minds and give Sir Nicholas a little buff. A 5-year-old champion needs some tweaks on his kit. And her woman is in the game now. So he needs to be ready to handle her in the right way. Let's go, guys. And as always, if you like this kind of content, do not forget to... And as always, remember,
It's all about arena.